What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the All Drink to That podcast, where we get to know streamers over two things we have in common: a drink and video games. I'm Not Gaming Dad, and this week we have, I say this every week, but it's going to be a special guest. He's a content creator for Team Untold, a professional musician, and he comes recommended from CJ Schultz, which is one of our popular episodes on the channel, and that's going to be NarwhalJP. All right, so go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Hi everybody, I'm NarwhalJP. I'm a content creator based in the Northeast. I'm a music teacher, professional musician, and an amateur gamer. So that's about it.
Well, we'll see. You're going to be better than me. I'm sure they'll see it. You're going to be better than me. Before we get started, one thing I will commend you on. I've only been following you for probably, 2 weeks now? But I do see, I'm not going to say you're a protector from bullies. But one thing I do recognize that I appreciate is seeing you stick up for people a lot on the timeline. I have seen quite a few tweets of you, I'm not gonna say defending, because the people aren't helpless, but you have it at people's back, and I like that. That's good vibes on the timeline. I'm not gonna say positivity because, you know, it's negative on their end, but it's positive to see somebody helping out. So shout out to you for that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I just don't really believe in bullying and in general people in positions of power kind of punching down. Like, that just kind of doesn't make me feel good.
Definitely, and that's kind of how I was raised too. I try not to get too much into my personal life, but my dad was kind of like a bigger guy, and he always told me, you know, don't bully the bullies. That's what he always told me. That's something that's always stuck with me. All right, so the first question I always gotta ask, everybody knows what I'm drinking, my high life. What are we drinking tonight?
I am drinking some Chardonnay that my mom got me for my birthday because I went to the liquor store and they closed at 9 and I got there at 9:01 and they would not open the goddamn door. Can I swear on this? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you do it, man. I mark it as not child friendly. You're good. Trust me, I'm gonna do my fair share of cussing also. So Chardonnay, I've had wine a couple times, but I'm more of a beer drinker. So as part of the new tradition, started the past couple weeks, as starters, I'm gonna go ahead and do a chug. You could take a couple sips for me.
Yeah, I'll partake in it in a less manner.
It's always so much harder when it's cold. So today we're gonna be playing Warzone. I'll be carried again in Warzone.
Okay.
Yeah, CJ was great.
So funny.
Yes, CJ was great. And I actually played decent, significantly better than I normally do. I got a couple kills. I made it out the gulag. Typically, I'm known for just kind of following you around and hoping we don't get too many gunfights. That's my niche in Warzone. So speaking of CJ, you brought him up. He recommended you to come on here. He said it would be a great conversation, and I take his word for it because I say this about everybody, but me and him, we just got along so well. We talked about like things that we were both 27 and it's almost like we lived the same life. Like we talked about like growing up, recording our videos on phones, starting HD PVRs. We talked like everything we were saying, it was like so nostalgic. And I was like, man, this is somebody I need to game with at least once a week because it was great vibes. So,
He's a great dude.
So how did you and CJ meet? And tell us a little bit about your relationship with
CJ and I met way back in the day. I think it was like way back in the day, I say, but it's like, I don't know, maybe late 2017, early 2018.
Well, in stream years, that's like 10 years.
And we met on this little team called the Las Vegas Minigunners. So we met there. I had him actually design my logo, which I think is pretty cool because the best story is that I have my logo tattooed on my arm.
Do you really?
I do. It just as I'm actually quoted in the paper saying I just wanted to full send it when I got it. But CJ, I didn't tell him getting it tattooed, so he just saw it on Twitter and he freaked out. It was so funny.
Two things I want to add to that. One, I'm mad that CJ didn't tell me that he had sick design skills.
Yeah, he's really good.
Two, I was going to bring this up later on, but now that you brought it up, I absolutely love your logo. I saw it, I was checking out your Twitch, and I was like, that's badass. Like, I just love it. The narwhal itself, the color scheme behind it. I was like, I'm definitely gonna have to bring that up, and I'm glad you brought it up so I could just work that in there.
Yeah, man, I love it. I rebranded twice for different reasons. Once because somebody from my college actually made some accounts with my old Twitch name on various nefarious websites, so I couldn't use it anymore or be associated with the name. But then my next name was Lizard Lord, so I couldn't keep that one. I just moved on very quickly. But I saw this logo, fell in love with it, and I've been using it since. It's dope. I love it.
And Narwhal, that's unique enough because it's something that everybody will recognize, but not a lot of people use narwhals in their setups and their logos and their names, anything like that.
Yeah,
so
and I love.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
My initials in there too, just because no matter what, nobody's gonna take that name from anywhere.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like it would take me a while. Oh, real quick, Mark, wherever you want to go, I'll just follow your lead. I'd have to find scroll for a while to find another narwhal on Twitch.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons I picked it, was because I love narwhals because they're the unicorns of the sea. So if they exist, it's possible, and that's very important to me. And also because I looked up narwhal on Twitch, and it was like a 5-year-old unused account. So I was pretty stoked that not a lot of people were using it. There is actually a Fortnite pro named Narwhal, but he actually doesn't have the H in there, and he's a pretty great player, so I don't mind being in the same ring as him,
Hell yeah, I feel that. That's kind of how I was with my name. I searched it, and most of the accounts seemed pretty unused. I was like, cool, let's rock with it.
Yeah,
but getting into sorry, my bad, man. I keep cutting you off. There's this little bit of delay, and it always messes it up. So real quick, before we get into the questions, I got a little comment about kind of unicorn tattoos. Like you said, the unicorn of the sea. Real quick side story. Not gonna give too many details. I did get at the Renaissance Fair. I did get a unicorn tattooed on my forehead in high school. That's just a side note because my friend said I wouldn't. Yeah, temp tattoo. My friend said I wouldn't do it, and I don't like being told I won't do things. Yeah. And the guy who was doing it even kind of said, he was like, I normally don't do face tattoos, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do this one. All right, so
that's so much fun.
Give us a little. Yes, if I can remember how to do it. There we go. Give us a little insight on your start in content creation, and kind of I'm not gonna say your journey. We'll get more into that as we go, but just kind of what made you start it, and how were things when you first started compared to now?
Yeah, so I guess the first thing is that it was a lot less marketable. Like there were a lot less. I started observing content creation and wanting to be a content creator when I was 18, just joined college, never had a PC before. I'd never done any PC gaming. And I watched this guy, actually also from Inferno, not at the time, but his name's Carnezy. He's one of the greatest dudes. And I was a mod for his stream for about a year maybe. And he's just a really great dude. And he really just encouraged me to kind of go for it and do my best the whole time. It just send it, really. And that's really become my mantra.
And then by the time you started, was it around the time where when you started, did you have the Elgato, or was it in the time where you could stream from console, or about what time frame was it when you started? Oh shit! I died.
On
God
PC,
damn it.
That was the first thing I ever did. I just streamed PC because I had never had a PC before. I was really into Counter-Strike on, of course, my MacBook Pro 2013. And surprise, surprise, it was about 30 frames per second, if that. And on CS, that gets you killed. So I down that guy.
Let me see if I can find the gun. Oh, I'm a terrible podcast host. I forget how to host my own podcast. I was supposed to ask you a question before we even started getting into the questions. So I always ask this at the very beginning of the podcast or halfway through, if we're going to say it now. Would you consider the best advice that you've received as a streamer?
Kill him, please. Thanks.
I'm trying to find the gun. Wait, hold on. Oh shit. But so best piece of advice that you've gotten as far as streaming, and if someone were to come to you asking for advice, they're a brand new streamer, what advice would you give them? And that's something I'm gonna let you think on until the end of the podcast. We'll come back to that after. God damn it, I fucking died again. I told you I'm terrible. All right. So, when you first come into a new community with anything, whether it's a new job, a new school, anything, your first view of it is significantly different than how you would view it after a couple of years, right? You know, your anxiety's flaring up. You don't know what to expect. Someone who's been doing it for 2 months, you look up to them like they're the best thing popping.
Right.
So kind of explain to everybody how you viewed the streaming community when you first started streaming compared to now.
Yeah, I mean, now I definitely have a little bit more cynical of an outlook on it. Not entirely, but just mainly because, like, right when you start streaming, you realize two things very quickly. You realize that it's not just a space for you to make friends. Like, everybody is kind of out there to market themselves, to make a career out of it if they have any sort of drive possible, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that was something that I didn't really foresee myself having to go through when I first started, because all the people that I started with were just really awesome people. And it was an unfortunate reality that I kind of had to face. I absolutely love the people that I am with, you know, the people that I really vibe with, the people that I interact with on a daily basis are the best people. Because, and I'll talk about this a little later too, the best thing that you can do is or the worst thing that you can do as a streamer is not have fun. Because if you're not having a good time, why are you doing it in the first place?
Exactly. And you could tell when people are starting to go through that, what do they call it? I'm trying to think of a different word for it, but when they hit that wall, when they're exhausted, they're not enjoying it, you could tell the content drops. And you know, when they take that little break and come back and they're just happy again, you could just tell so much of a difference.
I absolutely agree. And I think it's really important to not stop having fun, because once you stop having fun, it's kind of over.
And that's why, like,
you could definitely res me, by the way.
all right. And oh shit, am I doing it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's how you know I'm bad. I don't even know how to do that.
Nice.
But that's why, you know, they say, oh shit.
He's on us.
Oh fuck. You
Our
know,
teammates are nowhere to be found.
I talk about this all the time. They say when you first start, you should niche down to start to grow your audience. That's something I've never done, because like you said, from the jump, like I kind of like I'm a very seasonal gamer, right? I started with like a sports gamer when Madden came out. I played Madden for a couple months. When 2K came out, I played 2K for a couple months. And whatever the newer game was, that's what I played. I wasn't going to be miserable playing one game for an entire year. And you know, it's cool because you know the people who do pop into the stream, I know they're here for me. You know, like they're not here for just 2K gameplay or just Warzone gameplay.
Yeah. I think it's really important to not limit yourself in that way, because you see a lot of creators, especially creators in like these huge games like COD or Tarkov or League of Legends. Even like you see people stream these games and they pigeonhole themselves into those games, and it's really hard to pivot to being a variety streamer successfully if you don't have a main game that you play like every day.
And I kind of in a sense did that to myself, but I got out of it. But it did negatively affect my channel, I would say, but it is what it is. Like I said, I used to play all kinds of games, and then when Pokemon cards became a thing, I was like, hell yeah, that's something like me and my son could do. I love Pokemon, right? And then I was doing that for a couple weeks, and my streams were popping like they'd never popped before. And then after a couple weeks, I was like, this is a really expensive hobby. Not gonna keep doing this every week. And the views drop straight back down. So like, but like I said, that's part of the game. You chalk it up to the game, and I kind of, like you said, pigeonholed myself in there, but I wasn't gonna stick there just because you know the views were nice.
Yeah, and I mean, when I stopped having fun playing a game, and like you said before, like if you're not having fun, your content just plummets, and you can tell. And I see that a lot, especially with Tarkov creators, because that's a tough game. I see it a lot with COD too. It can be very unforgiving and unfun if you're not having like a great day. And when that stops being fun, what's the point?
Exactly.
So I've just been kind of streaming what I feel like streaming. I will say I have that kind of experience. I was playing Fortnite for a while, and I had a significant bump in viewers, and I pivoted from Fortnite, and it's never gotten back that way quite the same.
And like I was telling CJ, if you caught that Fortnite wave at the right time, that man,
we were on it at the same time, man.
And that was a big wave. If, like I said, if you caught it at the right time, like that was enough to propel you to that next level.
craziness. Like I've never had those numbers again. It's just us. We can go wherever we want.
All right, I'll follow you. Did you mark something?
No.
Oh,
I
all right,
did
fuck
now.
it.
Oh no, I'm not going there. I'm not going
Okay.
there.
I don't know where. I landed next to this helicopter. Okay, cool. I'll follow you over there. All right, so I did touch on earlier when I did start following you on Twitter. I liked what I saw. A second thing I did really like that I saw from the jump was one of the very first things I saw was you were doing a charity stream. Not only were you doing a charity stream, you had raised at the time when I saw $1,000+ on your charity stream.
Yeah,
So it was for, I believe, Able Gamers, right?
it sure was.
So tell us a little bit about that charity, one, and two, like how often do you do charity streams like that?
So I try to do 4 to 5 charity pushes a year, and I have them scheduled. You know, I schedule the ones for May already. Like I already know what I'm doing through May, which is really cool. But one of the things that I love to do is just raise money, and I think it's really important to raise money for charity because not a lot of people are hurting right now. So the people that have extra to give back are just kind of looking where to throw their money. So I think it's a really important thing to raise money right now, and to raise money because the people that are in need are in crazy need right now, just more than ever. And
go ahead, sorry.
so I try to pick a different kind of cause every single time. I try not to pigeonhole myself into only raising money for certain people. I try to pigeonhole myself into raising money only for example, like LGBTQ causes, because sometimes like that unfortunately can be a very divisive issue for the community, which is wild in another sense, but it's hard to see.
To piggyback off what you said right now, one thing I took pride in, like my community, I follow mostly like other streamers on Twitter.
Yeah.
And it was at first I was like super confused if everyone just shared the same views as me or if the streaming community was just like, you know, had those views, because I saw pro LGBTQ, Black Lives Matter,
Right.
you know, stuff like that all over Twitter. And I was like, so are these just like, does everybody share the same like ideals as me?
Yeah.
But like you said, there are definitely some people in there, like we mentioned earlier, well, me and you mentioned earlier, that aren't that way. Unfortunately.
Your money really quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think it's tough in the streaming space, especially because I think there's a lot more out there that don't tell us what they really think because they're building a brand. And I think that can be way more dangerous, because you give somebody a brand that they feel comfortable in and that they know that people are loyal to them to a fault, and then they start spreading the hate. So they build their brand first.
So then when they have their community set up, then
when they could do the most good, they do the most bad.
Yeah. And it's pretty much like, unfortunately, it's only a matter of time until like someone like slips up and does something. Unfortunately, you like to think it's all glitter and gold, but you know, unfortunately, it isn't. There's someone behind this car, and someone's about to kill me. All right, so back to the charities. So, like I said, you got, what was it, $1,125, right? For this
150, yeah.
150. So is that a normal charity stream for you, or is that like an all-time high?
It's been what the last couple have been. I've been running charity streams in conjunction with Tarkov tournaments. So when people come to watch a tournament, sometimes it brings in a lot more viewers than normal, or it'll bring in a lot different viewers than normal because it'll bring in people from other communities, which is really, really cool. I find that the best part is because when you get more people in a charity stream, you just are able to do more good. And that's really, really cool.
And two, I've realized I've only done one charity stream myself, but I've realized being in other people's charity streams, it kind of, I know people don't do it for the viewership, but it does bring a bigger viewership. If you see like someone you already follow on Twitch doing a charity stream, like you're like, oh, cool, let me go check it out. Someone that might not necessarily clicked on your stream before, even though they followed you, they're like, oh, this is something I should go check out. So the spoonful of mayo, how bad was that, first of all?
Actually, not terrible. It really wasn't that bad. The toughest part, I think, was swallowing. Like after I swallowed the first thing, I was just coated. My tongue was just coated. And that was the tough part because I was gagging, but I didn't know how to stop it.
Yeah, you didn't help yourself there. I was trying not to laugh, but you did not help yourself. All right, so
it was bad. It was rough.
So out of all your charity streams, like that would probably be the worst for me. I hate mayonnaise. Like I hate it so much. But what would you say was the worst thing you've done as one of the rewards for the?
So I made the mistake one time of having a hydrate reward, and it was like way too low. Like this time I did like I will drink water on stream for like I think it was like $15 or $10 or something. But I had this one set at $5. If you donated $5, I would drink like 3 sips of water or something crazy like that. And people kept donating it. And one of my friends just stacked it to 50 and was like, you have to drink like 3 bottles of water now if we're calculating how many sips. We're not.
Probably damn near waterlogging yourself at that point.
Yeah, it was rough. It was not my favorite thing that I've ever done on stream. I was very, very sick.
And I pissed after a sip of water. So I could only imagine you were probably in and out the bathroom like crazy.
Yeah, I was. I felt more sick than I felt thirsty or like full. I just felt straight up sick.
Not for the same reason, but I could relate. One time I was on stream and I got so hyped because I got like consecutive subs. I forgot how many it was, but it was definitely like an all-time high. And I was like, okay, cool. After this, every sub, I'll chug a beer.
Oh no!
Thinking, like, granted, for me at the time, well, period, on a good month, I was getting like 10 subs.
Right.
And I think I had already had like 5 in that stream.
Yeah, I feel ya.
So I was like, okay, yeah, no way this keeps going. The next thing you know, gifted subs were coming in like crazy. And I had to cut the stream. It was bad. Like I was drunk out of my mind. And I'm a drinker. It takes a lot for me to get drunk.
At least you didn't go to the point where like you weren't coherent enough to stop the stream.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I had the house to myself. So I was like, I could go. But I was like, no, let me just do the smart thing and just end this right now.
Yeah.
This is a question, didn't have this plan, completely off the top of my head. What is the craziest thing someone has ever asked you to do in stream?
For some reason, my community asks for feet pics all the time. I don't get it. Or at this point, really care to get it. Because it's just weird.
Yeah, that was, I would say mine was, I was so tempted to do it.
Yeah.
The guy was willing to send me the money up front, right? He said, I'll send it. So, like I said, I know you haven't been following me for long, but my logo on my personal page is, I used to have like a really big afro, right?
Yeah, there's a guy right above you, by the way.
During COVID, I tried. During COVID, I grew my hair for like 2 years straight. I say during COVID, like we're not still in COVID, but you know, like from the beginning of COVID, for like 1.5 to 2 years, I grew my hair out. And I had like a really big afro, right?
Yeah.
The guy, some random guy came into my stream. Like I said, I average like 3 or 4 viewers a stream. Some random guy popped in. I was like, oh, a new face. Straight to the point. I'll give you $100 to shave your head. And then I was like, nah, $100, that's not enough, dude. I worked him all the way up to, he said, I'll give you either $700 or a PS5, whichever, like you can find a PS5 online and I'll pay for that. Yeah. I'll give you the money for that. And I'll send you the money, Cash App, Zelle, however you want it. I'll send it up front before you do it. He said, you know, because I believe you. If you say you're going to do it, I'll believe that you'll do it. You know, you're not going to renege on the stream. And I was so tempted. I even called my fiance out. I was like, babe, do we do it? And she wouldn't let me.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. I can't even imagine.
Like the thoughts that were going through my head. Granted, I already had a PS5, but Like, still. All right, so getting into a little bit of your endorsements. I think I've talked about Sizzle Popcorn about 3 times since I've been doing this podcast. So we're not going to touch on Sizzle. I've spoke very positively about them pretty much on every podcast I've done. They're a great company. So they've got enough. I've given them their flowers. let's touch on some of this other things. Some I haven't heard of. Rise Brewing Company. I haven't heard of them. Hopefully I pronounced this right. Zenny Optical. Is that how you pronounce that? Cool. And then Gary's CBD. So for people watching this like me who haven't heard about those companies, give us your best pitch to why we should check them out.
Yeah. Okay. I like this. Let's start with Rise. So Rise Brewing Company is a coffee brewing company. They have Nitro cold brew. You can see it behind me. They come in little cans. They're right back yonder. And I really like them. They're a small company, which makes them really, really fun to work with because they're just down for whatever. They've sponsored several charity streams. I really can't say enough good about the people that work there, the people that are responsible for the product. It's all fair trade, and there's a lot of non-dairy options, meaning like there's a lot of like non-animal options or vegan options. And I'm not a vegan, but I don't do the whole lactose thing anymore. So I do oat milk in most of my stuff, and they have amazing oat milk. They actually sell their own oat milk. They've just been an incredible partner to work with. They have some banging coffee. I wouldn't endorse them unless it was good. I tried an entire case before I signed the papers, and they have several awesome flavors, and it's free shipping to the US, which is really, really cool.
So, couple questions I'm sure the audience wants to know. This isn't me, this is the audience answer these questions. So they mainly sell like pre-made coffee? Like not stuff you put in the Keurig.
They don't sell coffee grounds or anything like that. It's all pre-made Nitro cold brew coffee. It comes in cans that can be chilled or drank lukewarm. It's honestly fine either way because I've definitely been unprepared and drank lukewarm coffee. It's really awesome coffee, and you can't buy it in like a bag or anything. You just buy either gallons or I think they do cartons now, but mainly in packs of 6, I believe.
All right, so once again, someone just slid in my DMs right now. This isn't me being stupid. This is them being stupid. Not going to put them on blast. The people want to know, what's the difference between Nitro cold brew and regular cold brew, if you know that information?
Yeah, so the only difference really is cold brew is brewed to be cold, and Nitro cold brew is kept cold and kept unsealed. And you can actually hear it when you open it. It's cooled by nitrogen. So there's nitrogen inside the actual can.
And as far as strength, it's about the same strength as regular cold brew?
Yeah, it's about 1.5 cups of coffee, which is pretty much normal cold brew because you brew double the amount of coffee to keep the flavor.
So I kind of feel lied to by Starbucks. I mean, the person in my DMs kind of feels lied to by Starbucks. Yeah. Because they told him that the Nitro cold brew was stronger than the cold brew. So, but now we know.
Yeah, well, Starbucks markets theirs a little bit differently, and actually Nitro cold brew, the nitrous and the nitrogen in the actual coffee keeps it fresher longer.
Got it.
So that's an added benefit. Kind of coffee on the go, which is easier.
Yeah, honestly, it's like because half the time Tuesdays, like today, these are my long days, my longest days at work. Yeah. I'm at work from about 4:30 in the morning until about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And definitely there's like more often than not when I wake up, I know I need the coffee, but I'm too lazy to brew it. So that seems like it's like the perfect product for me. You sold me. So I'm gonna need the affiliate code. So when I purchase some.
Yeah, for sure. The link is on my stream. I can also give it to you. And then you can also use that. So that's my affiliate code. And then you can use another code, StockUp10 at checkout for 10% off.
Nice. Perfect. All right, so next one. Which one do you want to do your pitch for next?
Let's do Zenny. Zenny will be fun. So Zenny Optical is an optical company. It's a glasses company, sunglasses company. Pretty much anything you need that will go in front of your eyes to protect you against something, they have. They're absolutely incredible. They're a great partner to work with. Just started working with them about a month ago, and let me tell you, first of all, they take care of their partners. Second of all, they take care of their customers. Every glasses frame that you order in Zenny comes with prescription lenses. So if you need prescription lenses for any reason, Zenny's the way to go. So I got these, for example. These frames are $9.95, and they come included with prescription lenses for single vision, which is really, really cool. They also do sunglasses.
Wait, so hold on. You paid $10
I paid $10
for those frames.
for these frames,
And they came with the prescription.
lenses. Yes, I don't understand why everybody isn't using this service. So many people have ordered with my code already that I have to have different codes every week just so they can make sure they're protecting against fraud.
So for me, okay, I'm kind of a special case. My prescription is really like out of the ordinary. Well, what's it called when one eye is different than the other? I forgot what it's called. What's called astigmatism, I believe, right? And one eye is different than the other, and my lens is extremely thick in my right eye. So do you think that would still apply?
I mean, any single vision lenses apply, yeah. So I have really terrible astigmatism, and I also have a chronic migraine disorder. So one of the cool things that I put into almost all of my glasses is blue light protection, and that is super cheap, a lot cheaper than any other thing that I've seen in my life. With that, by the way, there's 4 people in this lobby.
So I
guess
mean,
we're just gonna see what happens. We'll have a lot of time to talk. That's
True.
Security, which is right here. They also do sunglasses. You can have different tints, different mirror finishes. Obviously, all of that is a little bit more expensive. But I got prescription rose gold mirror tinted sunglasses on Zenny for, I think it ended up coming to like $30, and the frames were 15.
So I'm not gonna lie. So far you're 2 out of 2. The coffee you sold me just based off. I'm a coffee drinker already, so that wasn't gonna be very hard for you to sell me on the coffee, because I love coffee. But yeah, that's kind of mind blowing, to be honest. Like you said, just stock a basic pair of frames with the prescription $10. Like, you really can't beat that.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't, and it'd be crazy to try.
So yeah, you're 2 for 2, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna hit me with this last one too, to be honest with you. So let's hear it. It was a scary CBD, right?
Yeah, so CBD has become a really, really important part of my everyday life, only because I have a chronic migraine disorder. I have really bad back issues from previous, and scary is awesome.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm good.
I see 'em.
Are they? Do you know if they're in that building you marked, or are they like just around that area?
They are up here.
Oh, got it. So this is the serious moment of the podcast where we take a moment of silence.
There's only 2 people in this lobby. I want to beat them.
If we win this, does that even count?
He's on me. He's on me.
Oh shit!
He's gonna kill me.
Oh no!
His teammate got up too. We're gonna lose.
I almost got one. Oh, sorry. Okay. Didn't mean to yell. All right. So,
No, you're good.
so scary CBD. All right.
Yeah, so they have a lot of different products, a lot of different ways to use your CBD. And I wanted to make a disclaimer. A lot of people still don't know this somehow, but CBD is from the marijuana plant, but it does not have any THC in it. You cannot get high from taking it. It is mostly used as a muscle relaxer.
And also, side note, it doesn't show up on most drug tests, but you might want to check in the type of drug test for any job that you're going to apply to, because for most jobs, they only check for like the main, the main shit they don't want to see. But some drug tests, CBD will pop up.
CBD is actually legal in all 50 states. So you cannot really get in trouble for that, which is nice. And you're able to dispute it against the law if you're fired because CBD popped up on your test without any THC. So I've seen it happen. There's been cases that have happened in the court, which is really, really awesome. But they have a lot of different ways to. I'll grab some of these. So for example, I have 3 products here, 4 products here. Let me grab them. And they send it to me every month. They really, really take care of them. So this is unicorn jerky, they call it. And it is literally just rainbow candy. It's kind of like Airhead Extremes. So you just eat one of those and your body kind of relaxes within the next 20-30 minutes. They have gummy bears. And these ones are really cool. They send these ones to me all the time. They have CBD and vitamin B12 in them. I have 2 of these. This one is called Big Spoon. It's tincture.
Nice.
Which you put under your tongue. You just put a couple drops under your tongue and it works absolutely immediately. It's CBD and CBN, so this will like kind of put you to sleep a little bit less than melatonin, but it'll help you get to sleep really nicely. And then this one has CBD, B12, and vitamin D because I am extremely vitamin D deficient. So they are just so thoughtful in sending this one to me every single month, which is awesome.
Right. So the audience has some questions about CBD. You know, they're
Sure.
quick. They're in my DM super quick. So CBD, you said you don't feel high from it, but you do feel your body being relaxed.
Right.
Is this something that'd be safe to take at work?
Absolutely. Yeah. So you're not gonna feel slower. You're not gonna feel like you aren't able to do your job. I have taken it during the day if I have really bad back pain, and it just like relaxes you. You're able to get through it, and it's less harmful to your body than like taking 3 Advil every 2 hours.
Got it. Okay, so it's completely healthy.
Yes.
And
It's actually
then,
quite good for you, and it helps reduce anxiety as well.
then we went over the drug test question I was gonna ask. So that's pretty much it. I tried CBD before myself. I don't know if I just was, this is gonna sound stupid. I don't know if I just wasn't doing it right. I just didn't feel, for me personally, I didn't notice the difference in it. Because I was taking it more for like my anxiety. Because I used to work fast food. I was a general manager at Taco Bell.
Okay.
And
That's tough.
you can only imagine. I mean, you work with kids. So you get it.
But I'm able to have patience with somebody who's 9.
It's different when it's a grown man.
I would never be able to have patience for somebody that doesn't know what a chalupa versus a taco is.
Exactly.
They're 25 years old. Like, that's annoying.
So there was a smoke shop right next to my restaurant when I worked there, and I tried it. And like I said, maybe I just wasn't doing it right, but like I did not notice any difference. Like I was like, yo, like my back still hurts. I still feel like very irritable. But I was trying. The one I had was out of a pit. I'm not a smoker, so maybe I wasn't like inhaling enough. You know, there's a lot of factors, right?
Yeah.
I have been wanting to try like one of like the gummy bear type one.
Yeah.
But just anywhere I found them out here is super duper expensive for it. But I haven't got around to trying it. But so I've been super tempted to try like one of like the gummy bear type ones. I entered your giveaway. I don't know if you know this. I'm hoping to win that one. Oh, also, when you guys see this, it'll be a little bit too late, but I will clip this and put it on Twitter. How long until your giveaway's over so I have time to clip that?
Giveaway will be on Friday, November 24th, but I'm going to be doing another one in a couple weeks.
Perfect. So I'm going to post this in the next few days, or hopefully by, you said Friday the 24th. So I'll post it. It'll be a nice little Thanksgiving for everybody on my timeline. So try and get some free CBD. Because I definitely, awesome. I saw it and I was like, hell yeah, let me enter this right now.
Yeah, CBD is super cool. It's not necessarily necessary for any reason, but it is super, super nice to have.
So 3 out of 3. I'm going to definitely check out for sure the coffee and the glasses. I'm going to definitely look into the CBD, see some of the prices on that. And if it's in the budget, I'm going to get some of that also. For anybody listening or watching this, well, if you're listening to this, where can they find your links?
All of my links are on my Twitter. You can exclamation point them to see. Wow, hiding in a thing. Okay, this guy was hiding in a garage. That's interesting. These guys are big mad.
Yeah, so follow them on Twitter.
You can find all of my stuff on Twitter. You can find all of my stuff on Twitch. I definitely post a lot about, especially Zenny on Twitter. So you can definitely find that kind of stuff there.
For everybody on YouTube, I'll put all those links in the description. So it'll be a little bit easier for you guys. So this question coming up is the question that ends friendships.
Oh no.
Yeah, like I told Shake and Burger on one of the podcasts, there's 50 people that think they're going to be the answer to this question, but you can only pick 3. The next up and coming energy drink powder, the next G Fuel comes out and says, Narwhal, you're going to be our promoter, our partnership manager, but you got to start with 3 people. 3 people that are going to help us grow, 3 people that are going to represent the brand correctly. Who do you got for it?
I think in no particular order. I can't stress that enough.
God damn it, this was an idiot.
There's a bunch of answers for this question, and it's tough. But I think the number, like the first person that I would choose for anything is Graves FPS. He's one of my absolute best friends in this space. You won't find a more genuine person to kind of hang out with, to shoot it with, just play games with. He's a great guy. He has some of the funniest content, I think. He's really interesting and entertaining to watch, and I think that's really, really important. I think, oh my God, this is tough. This is a hard question. Let me see. Who's on right now?
Oh, shit.
No. Good friend of mine. His name's Summer. He's a Tarkov streamer. He's a really awesome guy. He has a lot of really staunch beliefs that he believes in, and it's really, they're all they all feel on the right side of something,
Yeah.
I don't feel like any of them are arbitrary or in order to build a brand at all, as I was talking before. He says things because he believes in it. He doesn't care about the views, which is really tough to do. Genuine person. When he says he's gonna do something, he's gonna do it, which I feel like is getting increasingly rare. And he would promote the shit out of you if you believe in it, if he believes in your product or he believes in what you do. The third one is tougher. I don't know where my teammate went. He was next to me and then he was gone. Let me think. It's tough. This is a really hard question.
This is my favorite question. I feel like all my other questions are kind of, typical questions. I feel like this one's one that really is a nail biter.
Yeah. Okay. So I think the third person that I would say is also one of my really close friends and somebody who I believe to be just like a top tier content creator, Morse Lane. Not a lot of people know about him. He's kind of been off the stream circuit for a minute. He plays a lot of Valorant and all that stuff, but the level of he's so quick, he's so fun to interact with because he's so fast, but he's also a genuinely good guy, has these beliefs that he believes in and does his own research on and is able to speak on different topics that he's passionate about in a very good way. He's a god tier gamer and he's just a really fun guy to be around. I think he's done a really good job and I think he gets overlooked a lot and I'd love to see more people follow him.
Perfect. So for people to go follow him, where can we find him?
Twitch.tv/Morse Lane.
Morse like Morse code?
Yeah, MORSLANE.
So go show him some love.
Morse
Tell him that Narwhal sent you. So staying on endorsements. Well, first of all, if you didn't get mentioned in those top 3, you're still in our heart. Maybe next time. But staying on endorsements, what's one company that's your dream endorsement? If they slid into your DMs, it would make your year.
Yeah, I think this is gonna come as it's gonna come off the cuff a little bit, just because not a lot of people in the streaming space are really looking for this sponsorship. But I would love to be sponsored by Fender.
Fender, what's that?
Sure. Fender guitars. I'd really love to be sponsored.
And it Shure is microphones, right?
Yeah. So Shure is just an incredible company, quality wise. All of their stuff is amazing.
Is that the microphone you're rocking right now?
Yes. So this is the SM7B. It's kind of the industry standard for this kind of work.
Yeah, I've heard that one. I've heard that name tossed around quite a bit.
Yeah,
I believe Harris Heller uses that one, and that's one of my favorite YouTubers.
A lot of people use it. It's really, really good.
And that's also one of my favorite questions because you kind of learn about, you expect G Fuel, right? You expect streamer stuff, but I've realized that's what I was expecting to hear a lot of when I wrote down the question. But I've realized that I've been learning more about people outside of streaming when I asked that question. Like CJ said Red Bull, right? And Bud Light. He's a big Bud Light guy. Yeah, mine was Elgato, just based streaming, being basic. But you're a musician. So you want something like Fender. And Shure, which is it's a streaming mic, but it's not necessarily a streaming mic, if that makes sense. But I wish I would have stole CJ's answer. Red Bull's a way better answer than mine.
Red Bull would be super cool, but I think at the end of the day, if I I'm in a band, I'm trying to get some stuff going, so I'd love to be sponsored by Shure, by Fender, just to get some real music stuff going, get some stuff made.
Hell yeah, because like I said, I like music. I'm not good at it.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
All you gotta do is practice.
When I was in high school, that was my peak. I was in choir. We went to Europe, for our choir.
Yeah.
And you know, I felt like I was kind of the man. I was walking around singing the girls, you know, trying to get phone numbers.
Right.
And it was all downhill from there. But yeah, like, but at one point, I felt like I was a decent musician. So I can always appreciate, you know, especially someone like you teaching the kids. What level do you teach at?
I teach elementary school.
Oh, so you're starting them young. So you're getting them primed and ready.
Part of the most crucial part of education, really.
Nobody cares about their elementary school music. I mean, their elementary school math teacher. The one everybody remembers is their music teacher.
That guy just killed himself. That's funny. In game, TOS. Yeah, I mean, I truly believe, like, if I can get them loving it now, like, whether they become professional musicians or not is, like, really, first of all, like, not really my business. And it's also, like, it is gonna be what it's gonna be. If I can get them to love it now, they're not even if they're not a professional musician, there's somebody that's buying tickets to concerts and supporting the industry.
And that's where I was
really
gonna go with it.
important.
Also, music is one of those things like sports, right? You do it, you love it, you fall in love with it, and even if you don't pursue it as a career, it's
Right.
something that's gonna
So
have a
much
lasting
more in it.
impact on you.
Yeah. And it's unlike sports, actually. You can do music your whole life, whether it be you're in a band or going to concerts or playing for your grandkids. Like, you can do it your whole life. You're not going to age out. Your knees aren't going to give out so you can't play anymore. You can genuinely do it forever. And I think that's part of the reason I was drawn to it. And I think everybody should be drawn to activities like that.
Hey, hell yeah, die. Yeah. All right, sorry. I don't do that very often. That's my first kill of the night, actually. All right, so let's get back to the equipment a little bit. So what's one piece of equipment that you own that no matter how outdated it is, no matter how much you upgrade your setup, you just can't see yourself letting go of?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's two for me, really. I don't think I could live without two things. My Stream Deck, for one, for sure. And I think the second one would have to be probably my Shure SM7B.
Yeah, that's a solid. Do you have it hooked up with the XLR, or do you have the USB version?
Yeah, I got the XLR.
Yeah, that's one upgrade I was definitely looking at getting. Let's go!
There's my teammate, though.
I
team all alone, and these guys are just sitting there doing
I was
nothing.
too happy meleeing one person's dead body, and then someone else came behind me. But so, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so that was my next big upgrade when I do get the money. I definitely want to go with the XLR. I'm currently using the Elgato Wave, which is definitely is quality microphone. I love it.
Microphone.
But yeah, I definitely want to make that jump. And then,
Yeah,
so
it could be really scary because it's not inexpensive.
yeah, it's very expensive. And then I recently actually like two things I always want to do with my setup were go XLR and then cam link, right? Get a high quality camera and use the cam link.
Yeah.
And I actually just downgraded my camera. I was using a Canon camera and I downgraded to the face cam.
Yeah.
And to be completely honest with you, I don't know if I was trying to do too much with the Canon, but I actually kind of enjoy the face camera better. And when you see this podcast, I don't know if you've checked out any of the other podcasts, but when you see this one, I'm using the face cam now. This is my first time using it on video. So everybody watching this will can tell me what's the better quality. But I definitely kind of enjoy this better, and it's a lot more simplistic.
Yeah.
I can see myself getting like a mirrorless again in the future, but
Yeah.
like I'm enjoying the face cam a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome. I will say one thing that you should do, and the one thing you really can do with a Go XLR that's worth it at all, is throw it away. It's just not good. It's not worth $700, and it's not a good quality MIDI. You know, it does cool things, and it's easier to do cool things with it, sure, but it's not worth it to spend that much money that you could be spending.
I see a bunch of dead bodies over here, and I'm on my way, but I'm kind of scared to come over here.
Dude, I've been fighting alone for the whole game. These guys don't come to me.
So like, mama didn't raise no bitch, so coming over.
They're really bad.
And I got another kill. Another 2 kills. Oh shit. I didn't realize I was bringing my fucking A game today. God
Dude, I
damn.
didn't realize I was playing with scum. What the
Oh,
heck?
you jumped in here. You jumped in here, and I was terrified. I was fucking putting my armor on. Okay, so the XLR is trash. Why?
It just doesn't work. It doesn't work like my $700 says it should.
Now, I'm not big into audio devices. What is a good alternative that if someone's watching this video that they could look into?
Yeah, a great alternative is just get yourself a decent
me?
microphone.
Okay.
No, they're all dead on you.
Oh shit. So what about the Wave XLR? Have you done any research on that one?
I haven't seen that at all. I just know that the Go XLR is not worth the money. The audio's not even that good. Like, it's buzzy and annoying.
I always felt like I was like chasing, because anybody I know who has an XLR, they have a really bassy, full sound.
Yeah.
And I was always chasing that sound. I had the Blue Yeti, then I moved on to the Elgato Wave. And two things I've realized. One, that's just not my voice. It's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
I was chasing that sound. Not gonna happen. Never. And two, like, I finally found the right amount of compression and equalizing to make it sound as close to that as possible. So I realized I kind of don't need the XLR anymore.
Yeah, I mean, the Go XLR is not a good reason to spend $700.
It is one of those things where it's such a staple in the streaming community that you see Harris Heller use it. You see this person use it. You see this person use it, and you're like, okay, that's something I need to add.
Right.
If I want to be
Harris Heller uses it for his stream, but he does not use it for his audio.
And also on the record, Harris Heller is very, very good with audio. He's a musician.
He is.
So the way he uses the XLR is a lot different than the way I would use it. You know.
Right. And I will say there's no way he's using it for his audio production.
Oh yeah, hell no.
For his stream, you know.
Studio
item, and there's nothing wrong with wanting that. But you can get a really good audio interface that's XLR, like right now. Like this one I've had for I think 7 years I've had this one for, and I'll never use anything else because this is an amazing interface.
And how much did that one cost you?
It was $129.
So all in all, if someone were to go get the Shure SMB and that interface, it'd run you about what, $250?
Well, SM7B is $400.
Oh shit! So, I was way off there.
Yeah, so that's even more. Like, you don't want to spend $1,200 on audio equipment for your gaming stream. You want to use that extra money to do whatever you can to your machine or to buy a better camera. But the main thing is just knowing how to set it up. You got to take the time. You got to learn how to set up your audio. And once you figure that out, it's so much cleaner. It's like figuring out your lighting for the first time.
Oh yeah, definitely. And speaking of Alpha Gaming, I literally just feel like I got to hang on my lighting from Sam from Alpha Gaming. I don't know how familiar you are with them. Oh, well, that's Harris Heller's brand.
Oh, yeah. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. And I kind of live and die by what they say. Like, not proud of it. But
no, I mean, he's definitely a good person to look to.
I feel like he's very
he definitely
he's straight to the point. He's not gonna bullshit you, I feel like. All right, so y'all heard it here. The Go XLR, scrap that. Go do some research. Don't look at your biggest streamers and go from there, because the biggest streamers probably already using that shit. So,
or the biggest streamers are being paid to use that shit. Like, that's the tough part.
Yeah, true. And the difference between, Nick Merckx or somebody who might use that, they have someone who can professionally equalize their shit and get that shit perfect with the Go XLR. Yeah. You don't. Oh, and I just killed myself on the game. TOS. I'm gonna start using that. I'm gonna steal that from you.
Yeah, go for it.
All
We're
right,
not stealing. We're just sharing ideas.
there you go. Collaborating, if you may. So, away from the equipment, let's move on to a little bit more gaming. So, obviously, you're a gamer.
Oh my god, dude, our teammates are not though.
Well, that was
Our
clever.
teammates are ever.
So,
Yeah.
what was your first love of gaming? The first moment you were playing the game when you realized you were there playing the game for like 5 hours. You were like, wow, this is something I really enjoy doing.
Yeah, I used to sneak down to my parents' basement when I was still living there, like in high school. I used to like literally army crawl down the stairs to get to my brother's PlayStation so that I could play Fallout New Vegas.
So PlayStation,
there.
that was on PS3.
PS3, yes
Yeah,
sir.
I'm not a big Fallout guy, but if I do remember right,
I'm obsessed with those games. They're so good.
so Fallout, you would sneak down into your parents' basement and play Fallout.
Yeah. Fallout New Vegas, I think I beat that game 6 times, each in a different way. Like, it's just so good.
And then, how old were you when you said you were in high school?
Yeah, so this is probably 8th grade or freshman year of high school. Just sneaking down to my parents' basement.
So, okay, so what was the first system you remember playing? Because we're gonna do a whole list here. So we'll start from whatever the first system you remember playing, and we'll go all the way up.
I think the first system I remember playing is probably N64.
Nintendo 64. My favorite system of all, well, my second favorite system of all time. You could quote me on that, and I'll die on that hill. Besides PS2, that's my favorite system of all time. So
Yeah.
rapid fire. We'll start Nintendo 64. Your favorite game on Nintendo 64.
Mario. Or
Which Mario?
either Mario or Super Smash Bros. 64.
Like Mario 64, Mario Party.
Yeah, like Mario 64, Super Mario 64.
All right, so we'll move up to PS1 was kind of around the same time, I believe.
Yeah, I actually had a PS1, but I didn't like it very much. There weren't a lot of great games made for the PlayStation back then.
And it was like one analog stick. It was weird. But it was two. Yeah, it was two. Well, it wasn't the same. Like PS2 was definitely a huge jump. We'll put it that way. All right, so then did you ever play Sega Dreamcast? You ever play that?
Oh man, their prison. No, I've never played that. There's one on the roof. I've never played Sega Dreamcast.
Amazing system. And
I had a
then
Game Boy Color.
Game Boy Color. Were you a Pokemon guy?
No, never.
No, never. Really.
I had a gold Game Boy Color with a Pikachu on it. Never played Pokemon until
Pokemon is definitely my second favorite. My second favorite series of all time, behind Tony Hawk. And so then we'll move up to, we did PS1, Game Boy Color. We'll skip the next generation, PS2.
Yeah, so PS2, I played a ton of. Mostly because my parents wouldn't let us have online games because they heard people said bad words, and they weren't wrong. But they didn't let us have online, at least at that point.
And
so
also,
we
PS2 was
much.
before Wi-Fi
Yeah.
too, so you had to hook up on a LAN cable, and that was really annoying. I didn't play online gameplay till like the PS3, Xbox 360 time.
PS3 was my first online. Yeah.
So then we'll go Xbox, the original Xbox.
Yeah, I just remember being in my parents again wouldn't let us have video games until a while ago. There's a guy in here and nobody's gonna come kill him and I'm gonna die. They're rezzing in there.
Because for me,
come get
Xbox,
me, dude.
I'm trying.
No, not you. This guy that's next to me.
Yeah, so for me, like PS2 and Xbox were pretty
You guys are
similar.
so bad.
For me, the deal breaker was Halo. That was a deal breaker for out of the console. And I believe PS2, Xbox 360.
Found it. He's right on you, by the way.
Oh, is he? Oh shit! I don't even have a gun yet. God damn it!
Oh, he's right there.
I'm trying to. There we go. No!
He's dead too. No, don't worry.
Oh my god. That's what I get for being cocky. All right. So we'll go really rapid fire. PS3.
PS3. Played a ton of it. Played a lot of Modern Warfare 2 or whatever was on there. I think it was Modern Warfare 2 that I played a ton of. Played a ton of Black Ops. I played a ton of like Modern Warfare 2 in the sense that like my friend and I beat the game and beat all the special ops missions, but then we would go to the museum, and I don't know if anybody remembers that. Go to the museum and press the button and make everything come at us. It was super fun. The first real experience I had with online gaming was PS3 was Black Ops 1. I was cracked at that game. Yeah, that was all I really played on PS3.
So Call of Duty in general. Did you own the 360?
No, but I played it mainly only for Halo.
The Nintendo Wii. There's only one answer to that. One answer to that question.
I mean, we're American. You
know? No, but I gotta hear. There's only one answer to the best game on Nintendo Wii. I gotta hear it out of your mouth.
Oh, Wii Sports.
Thank you. Perfect. All right, I was that's my vibe check. If you don't say Wii Sports, I kind of just end the podcast right there. I'm like, all right, cut it. All right, okay. Xbox 360, PS3, Wii, PS4.
PS4. Never really.
Xbox. Oh, you had a PC, huh?
I had a PC. Yeah.
So you might as well skip the rest of these at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I had a 3DS. I have a 3DS.
I was never after the. I had the SP. After that, that's kind of when I fell off. I kind of fell off with the Nintendo, the handhelds.
Yeah.
All right, so
I was a big Yoshi guy on the SP.
All right, so back to the very first question I asked you at the beginning of the podcast. The best piece of advice anyone's given you for streaming. If you can remember who it was, that'd be great too. And then if a brand new streamer came to you in the DMs on Twitter, they're like, hey, what's some advice you can give me on streaming? What would you say? And as you do that, I'm gonna chug my last beer of the podcast.
Probably the best advice anybody ever gave me was turn off the viewer account and act like you're streaming back to 1,000 people. Because when you start thinking about how much of an impact your words have, you start, first of all, being mainly smarter than you were before. Just not saying shit that you wouldn't want on the internet, because all of it's going on the internet, whether you have 1 viewer or 1,000 viewers. And you also it's higher stakes. You're like, oh, I'm reaching these people. If I don't turn it on, what's the reason to come back? So turn off the viewer account, stream like you're streaming 2,000 people.
And to piggyback off of that, before you get into your next answer, for me, I realized the biggest difference in my streams when I started doing the Pokemon card pack openings, right?
Yeah.
But not only because there was people in the chat, I feel like I was less focused on, like when I play Call of Duty, I'm talking in Discord to the homies, right? It was kind of like homies first, chat second. Like I'd reply to the chat when someone said something, but I wasn't directly talking to the people, right? And I feel like when I stopped playing multiplayer games online and went to like Pokemon card pack openings, or more recently I started playing Pokemon Pearl, right? It's something more where I could just talk and talk and talk and talk, and the people in the chat feel like I'm talking to them, having a conversation, as opposed to them being like the side conversation. Yeah, definitely. Even if you're gonna play multiplayer, talk to your friends, but act like you got a bunch of people in your chat, and then when you do that, they'll start talking to you.
Yeah, because you can't give them attention before they, announce themselves. A lot of people lurk in streams. I have a lot of lurkers, and they don't want to be called out. And it's tough to realize that when you're trying to have a conversation with people in your stream and you're trying to keep the content going. I think the most important thing, and I said it at the beginning and I'll say it now, is to have fun. And if you're focused only on the people around your chat and not the people that you're playing with, or you're only focused on making money and not having a good time, you're never going to get far, because you're going to burn out and it's going to suck.
All right. So I'm assuming that's really good advice. I'm assuming if a new streamer came into your DMs, that's probably what you would let them know also, right?
Yeah, that's probably the first thing that I would say is turn off your viewer account. It's really tempting to not turn it off, because you're trying to make it. Like this is your deal. You want to be really focused, and you want everybody that comes to your stream to have a great time. But they will have a great time if you are having a great time. If you look like you're miserable and frantic and just looking for everything to say, making sure you're not missing anything, people that are watching you are going to pick up on that anxiety, and they're not going to want to see, because they're feeling like either they stress you out or that you're unfocused and boring. And that's harsh, but it's true.
Yeah, that's the complete honest truth. Yep. All right, so I'm adding a new segment to the show because I feel like I'd say half of the podcast I got into, we eventually get off of streaming, get off of gaming, and we have like one moment where we get serious, right?
Right.
So as a member of the LGBTQ plus community, hopefully I said that right? Because, not to sound old, but it started as the LGBT.
You can say plus and nobody really gets offended.
Perfect. I've realized a lot of people, we spoke on this earlier, a lot of people don't watch what they say and quite frankly don't care who they offend. And like I said, I've realized, I've seen you defend women on your Twitter and just defend people in general from kind of those arrogant, quote unquote, you can't see me, so quote unquote alpha male men.
Right.
And so, like I said, we're not going to say his name, but there's some people that feel the need to use homophobic slurs in everyday speech, thinking it's joking. Now, the way I equate this is, one thing I used to say a lot that I'm not proud of was, I'll call it the R word, as far as special needs people. Right? I don't even know if that's politically correct anymore, special needs, but I used to say the R word, right? Joking with friends, thinking it was completely okay. And then a buddy of mine kind of put me in my place one time. We were playing Call of Duty in Discord, and I said that word, and he was like, "Hey, bro, don't say that." And he's kind of someone who's very ambiguous with his comedy. I thought he was like joking. I was like, "Oh, what?" Right. And he was like, "No, like I'm serious. Like, don't say that." And I was like, "Oh, like is someone in your family like special needs?" He's like, "No, they're not. But don't say that. That's not an okay thing to say. Like, if there was someone in front of you with special needs, would you say that to their face?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, no, because it would offend them." He's like, "Exactly. So why do you feel like you can say it jokingly, right?"
Right.
So for someone who might be ignorant like me, who might not be aware of the impact of the words they're saying, what's a message you could give to a very wide audience, just being aware of what they're saying as far as like homophobic slurs, racial slurs, anything along those lines? Because some people think they're joking, having fun, but it's not a joking topic.
I think it's really important to distinguish that, like, two things. And first, it's like a little bit harsh to say, but like, it's genuinely, and I'm still gonna do it, and I still have the utmost respect for you. I don't mean this towards you in any way. It's not my job or any marginalized person's job to explain to people why they should be kind to them. That shit pisses me off. It's a lot of emotional labor that we have to go through every single day, that people just kind of expect us to educate them at all times. So that's the first thing I want to say is that I think it's really important to distinguish that it's not my job to teach you because you're ignorant. Not you and as a person.
No, I to the wide audience, yeah.
I shouldn't have to. You've never had to educate me on your sexuality and your sexual orientation and why it's important for you, because that's the norm. So why should it then be my burden to respect other people for myself? Like, I already respect myself. That's why I expect people to not use slurs, and that's why I expect people to not necessarily understand. I don't care if they understand, but accept my sexual orientation or accept things that I do that are different from them. And I don't hate straight people because they're different than me, but there are plenty of straight people that hate me because I'm different than them in one specific way.
And that's one thing I pride myself as far as, like, we're not gonna get too far into politics. I'm very open-minded politically, but one thing I don't tolerate is hate. Like I said, old me, like of course everybody, I've grown as a person, right? Well, I've made jokes before. I've made, let's leave it at that. I've made jokes before, but who I am now, one thing I don't tolerate is hate, right? Politically, I'll share ideals with people, but the moment it starts getting towards, like, people against pro-choice, I'm not okay with that. when it's against gay marriage, I'm not okay with that. When it's pretty much, all in all, against equal opportunity, that's something I'm not okay with. Once it starts getting and people having the equal opportunity, that's when I'm like, that's where I draw the line. There's no hate. We're all equal.
Right. And I think people get it confused a lot. Like, I get a lot like, oh, I don't follow all of your political views, so you hate me. It's like, I don't hate you because you don't follow my political views. I hate you because you're trying to invalidate somebody's human rights.
Exactly.
Like, I don't believe in that. I think everybody's equal, and just because somebody doesn't mean that it's not true.
And like when it comes to guns, when it comes to weed, when it comes to taxes, when it comes whatever it is, like you have your opinion, I have my opinion.
Right, and there's a difference between, and I think you're getting at this as well. There's a difference between having different political beliefs and having beliefs that invalidate a human's right to life, or
Exactly.
invalidate a human's right to exist, because you're killing people,
Exactly. Yep. And that's something, because another thing I've touched on is that something offends everybody, right? Let's say.
Right.
So what he said, you know what I'm talking about, what he said,
Yeah.
even though he could say, I don't hate, I don't hate gay people or whatever he wants to say, it's the equivalent of me being black, of someone saying the N-word and saying, I don't hate black people, right? And I've had to put people in their place about that, whether it's with the R, without the R, whatever you want to call it. I'm like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. And they kind of get shook. But it's all about, and at the end of the day, if something offends somebody, just be open-minded and hear what they have to say.
Right. I think that's really important. I also think it's really important for me to make a distinction just for myself, not saying that you said this at all, that being gay is not the same as being black. It's very much, I don't know your plight of having your race enslaved for hundreds and hundreds of years. I'm not saying things are better or worse for me, but
they're different.
And I'm aware of that, and I would never make that distinction in my own self. I think that's really important for me to say. But some of it's block and move on, but some of it's like, okay, this person has no idea what the fuck they're talking about. They might be able to benefit from some of this kind of education that I'm able to provide.
But like you said, so there's some people, you could tell by the way they say certain things. Like I said, when I said the R word, right? My friend knew me enough as a person to know, hey, that's somebody I could educate, and we can get past this. But there's some people
do.
Exactly. But there's some people who say things with so much ignorance and so much hate that you're kind of let me just block and move on, like you said.
There's a difference in being ignorant and deciding to be hateful. A lot of people just simply don't know about a lot of things. I'm willing to educate people about it. Most of the things that I do is say, hey, you need to do the work on this. I can't do this for you. You need to come up with your own conclusions. Because while I'd love for people to be on my side in all things, they don't always have to be when it comes to politics. But when it comes to these things, people need to educate themselves. They need to come to their own conclusions. And I think it's really important that especially allies of certain causes, allies of things like Black Lives Matter, allies of the LGBTQ community that do identify with the overall oppressive class, I think they need to use their platforms more than we do, because things coming from that type of person are going to carry more weight than coming from me, the person that's oppressed.
Yeah, definitely. I 100% agree with that. And that's something I've said in the past also. Not to equate it to slavery, right? But it was a lot easier for a slave to say, we're being treated badly. But it would have been more impactful for a slave master to come out and say something, right? But like you said, not to equate it to slavery all the time. But yeah, it's a lot more impactful for someone who is not having to fight the battle themselves to come out and say hey, this isn't okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to have the allies for that reason. I just don't really understand why people would want to spread hate on their own platforms.
All right, let's wrap this up. The very last question I always ask: who's somebody that you feel like would be a perfect fit to be on the All Drink to That podcast? But your answer to this question, you have to help me get.
All right, yeah, it's gonna be tough for this person, but I think we can do it. I would really just love to see Summer on this podcast. I think he has a lot of really intelligent opinions. I think he's a really well thought out kind of person, and he's fun to talk to. He was one of my 3 content creators that I'd love to see get more recognition. So anything I can do to really pump that up for him, I'll do. So I think he should be here.
Perfect. So what's his at? That's somebody I don't follow. Where can I follow him at?
At Summer TTV. So S0MER TTV. And I will send it to you as well.
S0MMR or ER?
S0MER, yeah.
There we go. Found him.
TTV, yeah. There you go.
There we go. Shot him a follow. Let's make this happen, because I'm always looking to. All right. So any last words? Like I said, your links will be in the description. Where can they find you on Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, YouTube? Wherever they can find you.
Yeah. You guys can find me at NarwhalJP on pretty much all platforms. This is really fun. I guess the last thing that I have to say is just like, don't be an asshole. Just like be nice to one more person than you think you need to be nice to tomorrow.
I agree 100%. All right, so we're signing out. I already chugged my beer. I gotta take a piss. So I appreciate everybody watching this. I hope you enjoy this, and we'll see you next week meeting the new creator. All right, peace, y'all.